What do you mean by divergent plate boundary? Divergent plate boundary. Convergent plate boundary. When two plates come towards each other, it is considered as convergent plate boundary. When two plates move away from each other, they are considered as. And already we have seen divergent plate boundary. Did we see divergent plate boundary anywhere? Tensional force. Anywhere else we have seen this? Anywhere else we have seen it? Seafloor spreading. Seafloor spreading. Seafloor spreading. So divergent plate boundary, if it happens on ocean floor, then it leads to seafloor spreading. Divergent plate boundary, if it occurs in sea floor, on the oceanic floor, it creates seafloor spreading. But what happens when the divergent plate boundary is created on the crust? Tensional forces are applied. Obviously, divergent plate boundary will lead to tensional forces, yes or no? Now, on the crust, when tensional forces are applied, what would happen? Initially, due to this, we shall be having some upwarping of the crust. Upwarping of crust, yes or no? So, slowly, when these diverging limbs are pushing the crust away, what would happen? We shall be having cracking which shall be developed. This is next stage. Initially we shall be having upwarping. In the later stage we shall be having cracking, and that particular cracking which is there, that slowly leads to faulting. Huge mass of rock displaced, and that faulting will result into formation of rift valleys. In geomorphic moments I have explained about rift valleys. So large scale faulting will lead to rift valleys. Whenever rift valleys are created, that will result into formation of block mountains. So obviously along this particular zone, what would happen? The rift valleys will result into formation of block mountains. Done getting this point? Slowly, if rainwater accumulates in this rift valley, what would happen? We shall be having rift valley lakes. Yes or no? Rift valley lakes. Yes or no? Water dantlo accumulate aithe. If still divergent plate boundary is applied, completely the structure will reach the base. Below sea level వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. Below sea level వెళ్ళిపోతే automatically sea water enters in. So when sea water enters in, nascent sea would be developed, which is referred to as, the best example as Red Sea. Red Sea, which has been formed between Africa and Arabian plate, they are the examples of nascent sea. Then now new seafloor has been created. Then what would happen? The divergent plate boundary is applied. What would happen? There is construction of new crust. Yes or no? Hence, divergent plate boundaries are considered as constructive plate boundaries. Where convergent plate boundaries are called as destructive plate boundaries. Are you getting this point? Divergent plate boundaries are considered as constructive plate boundaries. Convergent plate boundaries are considered as destructive plate boundaries. Why? Because yesterday in convergence, wherever we are seeing, some or the other thing is being destructed. At the trench, oceanic crust is being destructed. At the continental collision, continental surface is being destructed. Some or the other thing is being destructed. That's why they are considered as destructive plate boundary. But here what is happening? Here we are having rift valley formations, and finally it is leading to some new construction of the crust. When some new construction of the crust would happen, obviously we would be having this particular segment of seafloor spreading process, which is possible. Everyone got this point? Clear? So, sir, do we have any examples of this? Yes, I'll share the example with you. African plate, Arabian plate, yes or no? This is African plate. Here we have Somalia. So here, in between these three plates, divergence occurred, where African plate moved this side, Arabian plate moved this side, Somali plate moved this side. So what would happen in between these three plates? Cracking of the crust, faulting of the crust, rift valley formation, which we call it as Great African Rift Valley, which we call it as Great African Rift Valley. Is or no? So Africa Lumbiga, but obviously Great African Rift Valley. But northern portion has entered into phase 5. It has developed a sea, nascent sea create ho gaya. Endukante akkada inkoncham pull ekku undi. So akkada Rift Valley lakes kuda what happened is those Rift Valley lakes have been converted into sea like structure. Hence we are having Red Sea formation. We are having Red Sea formation. Are you getting this point? Red Sea formation. Clear? And this phase is still in phase 4, Rift Valley lakes wala. That's why if you open your African map and see, you will find Rift Valley lakes there by the name Lake Kivu, Lake Albert, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Malawi. Open African map. Everyone open African map. African map lo చూడండి sir, you will be finding Rift Valley lakes, Great African Rift Valley. Have you found it? Lake Albert, please do mark it. Please do mark it. पेंसिल से नहीं, पेन से. पेंसिल से मार्क करेंगे, 3 दिन के बाद ओपन करेंगे तो नहीं दिखेगा वो. Lake Albert అక్కడ అన్ని parallel lines కనిపిస్తున్నాయి చూడండి. You are finding parallel lines over there. You are finding parallel lines over there. Have you found it? Lake Albert, Lake Kivu, all the lakes, Great African Rift Valley lakes. Like here, if you could see, these are the lakes which you could see there. You know, but Lake Victoria, it is not direct part of rift. It is within that rift. Not exactly because of rift formation. Great African Rift Valley has different formations. They said to be, it has been said to be formed, that it has formed because of the hitting of the meteorite. There are many theories, but अभी मैं meteorite को दिखा नहीं सकता हूँ proof के लिए, but बोलते हैं ऐसा like meteorite hitting की वजह से form हुआ. But Lake Victoria, one interesting thing, if you could see there, it is shared by these 3 countries: Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Have you seen it? Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Have you seen it? Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Have you seen it?
Yes, sir.
So you have to remember that dimension. Lake Victoria is hit with Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Are you getting this? Clear? Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania. Got this point? Clear? Everyone? Lake Turkana, Lake Albert, Lake Edward, Lake Kivu, Lake Tanganyika, Lake Malawi. Last time in UPSC they have asked a question on Lake Tanganyika. Clear? అట్లా ఈ లేక్స్ గురించి క్వశ్చన్ అడిగే ఛాన్స్ ఉంది. విచ్ ఆఫ్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ లేక్స్ ఆర్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ గ్రేట్ ఆఫ్రికన్ రిఫ్ట్ వ్యాలీ? అండ్ యు నో ఫ్రమ్ వేర్ దిస్ రిఫ్ట్ వ్యాలీ is being extended? Almost from Lebanon. Around Lebanon we have a Bekaa Valley. I don't know if it is visible there or not, but you can just draw it in your book. From Bekaa Valley to Sea of Galilee, followed by Dead Sea, followed by Gulf of Ekaba, है ना, Red Sea, then Afar Triple Junction, then Rift Valley extends further as Gregory Rift and East African Rift, and this Rift Valley is extending until Lake Malawi around Mozambique region. Lake Malawi around Mozambique region. Lake Malawi around Mozambique region. That is the considered southernmost point. Lake Malawi, which is there, that is the considered southernmost point. Lake Malawi, which is there, that is the considered southernmost point. That is the considered southernmost point. Lake Malawi. Ante Bekaa Valley nunchi, from Bekaa Valley it is extending up to Lake Malawi. Okay. Now the question is, sir, if here nascent sea is formed, moving further, here also is the sea going to be formed? Is the drift going to happen? Is the sea going to be formed? Do we have any other sea like Red Sea? तो हो गया अभी, White Sea, Orange Sea, Blueberry Sea, Purple Sea, ऐसा कुछ कलर लगाना है, ठीक है? So is Africa going to be divided? Africa is going to split into 2? Yes. And Africa, if you could see, possible future, if you see Africa now, how it has divided, this also would be divided. अभी तो ये डिवाइड होने की चक्कर ही यहाँ पे रेड सी का दिमाग खराब हो रहा है, सी फेरर्स का इश्यू. पहले तो स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मस, अभी बाबल मंडप पे बैठे, फिर न्यू सी फॉर्म हुआ तो इधर बकचोदी, फिर अगेन सी फेरर्स इश्यू. सो एंटायर वर्ल्ड विल रन ऑन दिस जियोपॉलिटिकल एंटिटी. Now world is not on oil, world is on critical mineral. America is also solving the issues between Ukraine and Russia, not because it has love on them, because it want mineral deal with Ukraine, because Ukraine has that critical mineral resource base. हम क्या सोचते हैं, who are pro USA, what we think, यार USA is coming and speaking for the welfare of the people, it does not want war to happen. Bygone, कुछ नहीं है वैसा. Mineral deal, Ukraine, it is helping Ukraine and Russia to resolve so that their passage of entry would happen. This is what US is trying. USA, everywhere they go, they are selfish. But what we think, US is acting as a big brother. Trump आएगा प्रसाद पकड़ के, हाँ बेटा क्या चाहिए. Wherever he entered, neither Trump, USA people, they are selfish. है ना. First of all, they speak themselves as nationalist. I say they as the refugees because they migrated from Europe. अबे तेरे पास नेशन ही नहीं था 200 साल पहले, and you are questioning the history of India, which is 5000 years. हमारा जब इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन हो रहा था ना, अमेरिका नाम नहीं था. तुम्हारा जितना हिस्ट्री था ना, तेरा इंडिपेंडेंस कितना भी है ना, उतना तो हम एक्सप्लॉयटेशन लिए यूरोपियन से. Are you getting this? So you never should speak about common sense. And all the very great Indians who go to US to work, our greatest education drained people, stating that India में कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा. टी हब से स्काई रूट देखा है ना. Everything happens where you find a way and will. But whoever go to US, they find out possible reason. What is that? इंडिया में कुछ नहीं होगा, वहां पे पैसे की ज्यादा है. So you are changing your motherland just because of money. So what should I say you? Anti-national. Anti-national. Yes or no? Urban Naxalite. What should I say you? And you are joining hands with them who does not have a nationalist feeling only. Because it is not America, it is United States of America. Pastries mixed it together and became a cake. It was not cake which was cut. Yes or no? So now pata nahi what geopolitical entity will happen post 5 million year. हम तो तब तक यूपीएससी लिखते ही रहेंगे जितना अटेम्प्ट यूपीएससी permits, है ना. So now you stop thinking what is the name which we have to give to this sea. ये छोड़ो अब, है ना. Because our mind, our diluted mind thinks, our overthinking mind thinks. Sir, what would be the name if this is divided, if South America, African part is divided, if this sea comes, please can you suggest a name? This is our main agenda now.